Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. A Friday, and that means it's an AMA edition. Ask me anything. And by the way, if you haven't visited my blog, chris.pirillo.com, I'm pretty soon going to turn that into pretty much a platform where you can continue to ask me anything throughout the week, perhaps things that I can't address or will not address in videos like these. Thank you to the 616 patrons for supporting us today. And if you are doing the math, you recognize that, wow, that's about 15 fewer patrons than we had yesterday or so. 15, 20? I'm horrible when it comes to numbers. The reason why is because some of the patrons, I'm not going to say they were fake, but their pledges didn't go through. So it's not really fair to give them the same benefits that the patrons get, and that list grows on by the day, including either having their names displayed here in the middle of this particular live broadcast on YouTube, by the way. But they also get AMA priority support. And pretty soon, all patrons will have priority email support as well. You know, you can email me, chris@pirillo.com, but patrons will get a special email address. Another bonus, on top of the shop.lockergnome.com permanent 10% discount, on top of everything else, including the live video I'm going to be recording later, the What Would You Do video, and today, what should I answer for the What Would You Do after this live broadcast for patrons? Matthew Dawber asks, if you didn't own your own business and or do YouTube, what other occupation would you choose to do and why? So what would you do without YouTube? That will be the question you're going to address thanks to Matthew. Here we go with the AMA. Oscar Roque, thank you for your patronage. Admit to watching, he says, and this isn't really a question, but that was kind of fun to put in here. It's a good way to start the day. Admit to watching at least one of the following: She-Ra, Carebears, Gem, My Little Pony, or Rainbowbrite. Well, Diana, if you want to answer any of these questions with, your own response, you are more than welcome to. I will admit that I watched the Carebears. I liked the Carebears out of all of them. I didn't mind Gem. Never got into My Little Pony. No, I did watch Rainbowbrite. And I kind of liked She-Ra, although I don't think I could catch it all that often, because She-Ra was kind of in the same universe as He-Man, and I liked He-Man. And now, George Barrett asks, what are your favorite moments or episodes from the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctors? Tennant is my Doctor. I will tell you that. But I don't know if I have any favorite moments or episodes. Nothing that really stands out. I think there are a few episodes that I felt kind of drew out. I don't like the episodes where it's about creepy things. And I realize that's like 99% of Doctor Who, but I generally don't like those types of episodes. I like the ones where it's aliens and different worlds and I mean, fun adventures that, wouldn't necessarily happen on Earth. I think maybe that's what I'd boil it down to. I'm not always thrilled about the Earth episodes, Earth-based Doctor Who episodes, but Tennant is my Doctor. Julian Ram asks, hey Chris, and by the way, these are all patrons, including Julian. Hey Chris, I'm currently a college student, and my question to you is, how do you live up to the expectations that people you care about have set for you without being in fear of failing them? This is actually a question I will be addressing in my blog at length, but I think what it boils down to is you got to be happy with the choices you're making for yourself. That's really it. You can't live up to anybody's expectations but your own, because otherwise you're living your life for somebody else, and that doesn't always work out. You got to be happy in what you're doing or where you are, and if you're not happy, it's kind of up to you to figure out what it's going to take to make you happy. You can't count on anybody else for your happiness. It's got to come from inside, otherwise it just does not exist. By the way, I made a comment on Facebook not long before starting this broadcast saying, if I were to disappear tomorrow, this is a question, would you care? And I threw that out there. I wasn't fishing for sympathy or pity or anything like that. No, it's just something to think about, right? I mean, you value what I do to the point where you're doing this, you're watching this video, but where do I sit in the grand scheme of things? Could I just stop doing things and would it matter? And I think that's something important for us to think about with the things that we care about most. And we should treat those things with the greatest degrees of respect, because you never know when they're not going to be there. You don't know what you got till it's gone. So thank you if you do care and you do value the things that at least we're trying to do, and you value me in your life. I do appreciate that. Oh, I also should mention at this time that This was the device that I almost held up in the middle of a live broadcast the other day, and I'm glad I didn't. It's the Samsung Galaxy S5. Look, right, there's proof. Look at that. Look at that. Right there. And I may be recording my initial thoughts, not necessarily the review, but my initial thoughts for the Samsung Galaxy S5, and I'll record that potentially this weekend for patrons to see, and then when we hit 650 patrons, I will upload it to the YouTube channel. Now, next question. Jeremy Abad asks, would you ever join a local superhero league, fight or report an active criminal? I have actually reported what I thought was a crime. Turned out that it wasn't. Oops, that was kind of an embarrassment. I don't want to go into that. But I don't think I would join a superhero league. There is a superhero, a real superhero in the Seattle area. He goes by the name... Oh, dude. Oh, man, I'm blanking on it. Seattle superhero. It's, for some reason, Nightwing is jumping out, but that's not it. That's not it. Hang on. Seattle superhero. No, dude, this guy is amazing, and he's for real. Okay, really, Google? You're not going to Google? I was looking to Google you here. Do you remember, hun?
I just blinked like you.
I know, I'm like, it's like right there. Phoenix Jones! Phoenix Jones! He's awesome. I've met him in real life, and he's invited me. He said, hey, Chris, do you want to come on a crime thing? I might do that at some point. That'd be it'd be interesting. One night, we'll take the vlog camera and vlog the superhero adventure. He's invited me. I'll wear a hoodie of some kind. I will not cosplay as he. I mean, he's got a whole uniform thing, and he fights crime. He knows the laws and everything. Amazing. Phoenix Jones. You got to look him up. This guy's for real. Stephen Palmer, another patron, including Jeremy before him. Who is your favorite Simpsons character and why? You know, I probably change my mind on this frequently, but I'm a fan of Homer. I mean, I'm not a general fan, and not like a role model kind of fan, but I'm a fan of him because he always says wacky things and does stupid things and says stupid things, and I just like that. Now, most of the Simpsons characters do that as well, but, you know, just when you think it can't get any stupider, Homer kicks it up a notch, and I always liked that about Homer, his stupidity and just how bizarre he was in his life, and you wonder, you know, this guy is really stupid, but you've probably met people in real life who are just as stupid, if not stupider, than Homer Simpson. And I kind of like that about his character. Robert LaMastus, another patron, asks, Mr. Pirillo, in the movie about your life, you get to pick from these 5 directors. Who will it be? Mike Judge, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, David Fincher, or J.J. Abrams. And out of all those, I would go with Steven Spielberg. Because I think he has a story in mind with his creations. He's got a good eye for that. And I've always appreciated Steven's production values, and it's not to say everything he's done has been gold, but out of all of them, I trust Spielberg's choices above all. George Lucas is definitely out of the running. I'd put him probably close to last. Steven Spielberg, then potentially J.J. Abrams, Mike Judge, David Fincher, and then George Lucas. Yeah. Mike Judge would definitely be different, but a more humorous kind of, you know, look at my life, and it wouldn't be the same type of movie I would want. KP in AZ asks, at the end of the Star Wars movie, Episode 4, where did Darth Vader go after the first Death Star was blown up? I'm sure the expanded universe or the comic universe has answered this. I don't know, is the official answer. The unofficial answer, and I can't prove this, but I do believe he visited me in my bedroom when I was a kid. And it was a little weird. It was about that tall. Had arms that didn't really move other than like this, and he had a lightsaber that popped out of his arm, but he showed up. That Darth Vader was there. I believe that was him. In my heart. And I do have a heart, despite what the rumors say to the contrary. George Baker, another patron, asks, is the shop.lockergnome.com website going well? It's going well in the sense that it's up. We've got a few design things that I think we need to address. I totally forgot to say when we launched it and even accommodate this in the design, free shipping for all U.S. orders. And really, I know that people want to buy stuff. I would hope they would want to buy it for me. The people who got it, they get my autograph, so that's another little bonus that you get when you order through the shop. But the biggest value, I think, in driving that home is I think we're going to have to start figuring out how to get to geek shows like conferences, like conventions, and selling them, directly to people who visit. And I think that's the game plan for the online version of the website. But right now, I wouldn't say it's going amazingly well, but it was just an idea. I'm like, you know what? I think it's worth doing. I think people turn to me, and they get the stuff that I recommend anyway. I mean, all the time. I mean, people ask me what I use and what I have because they want the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised. We just got a new a popcorn machine, and when people see the brand that we got, I wouldn't be surprised if people turn around and bought it. So I know people take my recommendations seriously, so I figured, just give it a shot with the shop and throw in some value adds. John Prosser, and I believe I just followed him on Twitter last night. I was watching his show on YouTube, and funny stuff. Front page tech. I mean, I was laughing. I was LOLing. Really true. Diane even heard me. She said, "What are you laughing at?" Often, like, you got to see this. This is so funny. I was talking to John. John's the kind of guy, and I even emailed him this. I'm like, he's the kind of guy, he's doing the kind of thing that I would love to bring into, like, a LockerGnome universe of sorts. And I don't know exactly how to put a finer point on that, but he's got something that I think is pretty magical. What do you believe, he asks, is the future of MCNs or multi-channel networks online? When I ask, he says, I am not just referring to networks on YouTube. We've seen Disney purchase Maker Studios. Discovery Communication has their own branch of MCNs, as well as Fullscreen acquiring Screw Attack. Do you think this says anything about where online media is headed? Well, it's like a rubber band. So I think most, I'm not going to point out any, I'm just going to say most, and that's not to say all. I think most MCNs are doing a major disservice to the people they represent, and I think most of the people who join the MCNs join under a certain belief that they're going to be taken care of, and they're not. And it doesn't matter how big or how small you are. I don't know if MCNs are really in it to help the producers. I really don't. I mean, generally, they've got some things that have helped and can help, but, especially the more they try to take care of, the less they can take care of for each particular person. There's a value in having that insurance or that security that you're working through an MCN on YouTube, but don't expect them to do your work for you. And I think a lot of producers do that, and I think that's where expectations really kind of fall short, especially in relation to MCNs. If I had a choice, I would, and I'm just spitballing here, I would create like a loose conglomeration of YouTubers and content creators under a somehow loose LockerGnome network where, we could raise awareness for each other and, build attention. Of course, I also want to create other shows in this channel, and to do that, I need to find other talent. And people who can help make that happen. So, I just know that I know I can help others in more ways than just doing these videos on YouTube. I know I can, but I can't do that alone, and I haven't figured out the game plan around it. So, either way, I think the future of MCNs is going to continue to exist, but I think how people place importance in them needs to change. Matt J asks, in another Patreon, "Hey Chris, love your channel, thank you. Awesome sauceum." That's what he says, awesome sauceum. Okay, that's a new word to me. I know awesome sauce. I use that all the time. Anyway, he says, what is your opinion on RSS feeds? Are they old-fashioned and useless now? I use a couple and would use one for your blog, but you don't have one. I do have one. I haven't made it public, and I need to make a big-ass button, RSS. Not a lot of people use RSS anymore. Seemingly, they stay up to date on Twitter or Facebook or Flipboard or any other aggregation tool, and that delivers things for them. I'd be surprised if many of you out there use RSS feeds to keep up on news. It used to be the only way to do it. I'm in the process of trying to find a good group-based RSS reader to stay up to date on things, but it's kind of languished. Support for RSS has not been as strong as it was in the past. I think they're very valuable. Yes, we have them. Yes, they are there, but they're just not in your face because I don't think a lot of people seem to be using them anymore. Christopher McAuliffe, another patron, asks, why exactly did you stop the stream on live.pirillo.com? That's right, I went there. This is another question I'll be addressing in my blog, but the bottom line is, being on 24/7 just doesn't work. Just doesn't. And as much as I'd like to do it, it just became too much of a pull on my time and my patience. If I wanted to listen to something, I would have to mute the stream. I have to remember to mute the stream. I'd have to remember that when people come over, it was too much to happen in the house, even with chat rooms. So I know I want to bring back a chat room. IRC is probably not it. We ended up with so many problems with IRC. So part of my game plan is to reboot a part of what we do with community engagement off of YouTube. And there's a certain resource that has a web-based chat room functionality. But in my title, I'm not babysitter. And that's ultimately what it boiled down to. Some moron comes into the chat room, disrupts things, doesn't mean to disrupt things, and all hell breaks loose. Or, worse yet, imagine if, this is what would happen. A different person, for the rest of your life, asked the same question of you every 5 minutes. You think you can handle it. I guess it would be a good problem to have, but it just gets a little draining. So I think I can bring back chat room functionality in one way or another, but I haven't quite put a finer point on how to make all that happen. Chris Eldridge, the last patron question for today. Since I can't come up with anything else, he says, what's your opinion on the band Nirvana? Love Nirvana. Love them. You know, I was very saddened to hear the news when Kurt had committed suicide. I remember watching it on MTV, like when they're Courtney Love. I remember she's sitting underneath a tree reading in the suicide note. Or if it wasn't underneath a tree, it was like a park. It was in an open area. And yeah, it sucked. It really did suck. I just liked the gritty nature of it. I'm not a punk kind of person, but there was a different spin on it. Very simple music, very catchy tunes. I loved the poetry that Kurt wrote. It was very, I just liked Nirvana. I really did. It was to me a magical band, and with magical music that I don't think will ever be repeated. I don't know. I don't think that's why I'm wearing a flannel or live in Seattle now. But who knows? It could have contributed to that. I'm just taking a look at the live stream here for questions and answers, or I guess really more questions. That site built so much of your community, including me, says George Baker. I'm working on bringing it back. I just got to figure out how to do it. I may actually run this past patrons to get their idea about how to do it. I got to try to... I can't do everything, guys, and I can't do everything all at once, and I'm trying to do as many things as I possibly can without killing myself. So thanks again for your support and your patience. Speaking of, as I roll through with addressing further questions, let me go ahead and play through the patrons who are giving support. Now, some of the people are asking, hey, I pledged your support, why am I not getting things? Well, Patreon doesn't put things in escrow. So if you want like bonuses for this month, you can PayPal us, and that will allow me to give you the values that you're looking for, and some people have done that. I put the directions for that, I think, on the Patreon website. If not, you can just email me, chris@pirillo.com, or I'll have to give all the patrons the special address. Jonathan asks, with the UK government paying Microsoft for extended XP support for another year, if a major security risk is identified, do you think Microsoft will push it out for general users? Nope. I don't think Microsoft will. And I know I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but I don't think they should. I genuinely do not think they should. Because if they do, then no one's going to believe them. Well, we're not going to support it now for real, but here you go. Nope. I don't think they will, and I don't think they should. I think you, if you wanted to, and were enterprising and knew enough developers with skill and engineers, you could create a company based on Windows XP support alone. There's an idea for you. Good luck executing it. Tommy Fenton. Hey, Tommy. He asks, how many Lego minifigs do you have, Chris? I have a few. I don't have a count of how many Lego minifigures I have. I lost count. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'll keep collecting them. Rick Nelson asks, I can't wait for the Simpsons minifigures, by the way. Cannot wait. They're available in some spots, but I was hoping to find them on eBay as, in aggregate, and it didn't, they're like selling for like $100 for a whole set. I'm like, no, I'll wait until I get it. I could probably get the entire set for about $60. Like, get them all collected. I'll likely be doing photos with them, and then, of course, I will definitely be doing a video on those for the Geek Lifestyles channel. Rick Nelson asks, if you could have any Star Wars ship as a baby crib, which one would you choose? I would probably choose, the one that would seem to fit most would be an AT-AT, because, the four-legged, the walkers, the Imperial walkers, right? The cribs right up top. Kind of neat. If I was a woodworker or could design something, I'm sure those exist for, like, thousands of dollars, but we're probably not going to go that route. I would go with an AT-AT. I think an AT-AT would be fun for a baby crib. Thank you. All you patrons out there, your name could be there next time. Now, blah, 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 blah. Next question. Jason Field asks, do you think Apple would ever give the iPad a plastic back with different colors like the 5C? And what would you think about it? I wouldn't think anything about it, really. I mean, they're doing it because they think they're addressing a part of the marketplace, just like they made the 5C, which in comparison to the 5S isn't selling that well, but in comparison to Android devices, it's selling extremely well. So, I don't know if... personally, I'm not a huge fan of plastic. I'm into anything that doesn't break as easily. Quite honestly. This isn't an Apple product, but I don't really mind, like, the way Samsung has done their devices. I don't want to get into too much of my initial impressions with the Galaxy S5 right now because I don't want to spoil it, but, yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Let's see here. Steve Berry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Edward Middleton Jr. asked the question first. Do you think about doing your own reality show? The vlog. That's about reality as it gets. I don't think anybody else would care that much for a reality show, other than the vlog viewers, in which case they already have what they're looking for. Steve Berry asks, will you do Hangouts again? In experimenting with Hangouts, every once in a while I'll pop into someone else's, but they're generally boring. If I do Hangouts right now, it's like once a month for patrons, and I do that like usually on a weekend evening with other patrons. May actually do the next one for the patrons who clear that particular level. Yeah, that might be a good idea, because Jerry Barnacle Nerdgasm is coming over tomorrow. He's a patron. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's getting over being sick. I did not give him the man flu. He got something completely different. I didn't give it to him. Pneumonia. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I never was that bad off. Maybe we'll do the patron hangout then. You get at a certain level, I'll do a hangout, because if I did it for everybody, nobody could get in because everyone would be fighting for it. They'd be fighting for my time. And the most valuable thing I have for every one of you, all thousands of you, is my time. So that's why I appreciate your time. But understand that I'm trying to address and bring value to thousands and thousands of people. And I'm doing my best with that, but my time, I only have 24 hours in the day, and I'm trying to take care of everything. So patrons at a certain level or higher will be able to join us for that hangout. I can't remember what the patron promise is. There's a certain level. If you want to join us, like I said, we can bring you into escrow and make sure you get in. But I think I'll ask Jerry if he wants to do this month's patron hangout tomorrow when he comes over. Although he's not going to be drinking, just FYI, because he's still getting over being sick. Checking out all the questions. Tim Slade, patron there in the live feed, says, who is your favorite band? Weird Al Yankovic. George Baker asks, what did you get out of meeting with Patreon team you had a while back? Well, George, I don't want to slag Patreon at all. They listen to me, but I don't think they have the engineers to pull off what I'm asking for, and I don't think they're making all the right decisions with what they're doing right now. And I've detailed that in the past. I don't want to dig into it too deeply. Suffice it to say, there are a few disconnects that I think they could do a lot better with that would help producers like me and community leaders like me and people like you, the patrons. Now, Thread Lamont asks, do you think it will be hard to get a job with technology automating everything? For instance, McDonald's in 20 years could have robots serving them. It won't be hard to get a job. In fact, there was, God, who wrote this? Someone. I pardon because I can't remember the quote, but it may very well get to the point where robots have taken over so many jobs, we won't have to work anymore, at which point you wonder, well, how do you pay for things? Think about that. Because if there's too much of a discrepancy, it's game over. Like, you want to talk about revolution and the haves and the have-nots. You ain't begin to see anything. Removing jobs from the equation could be a good thing or a bad thing. To an extreme, it would be a good thing. Because just imagine, robot drivers, they're coming. I mean, probably within my lifetime, we will see the end of people, human beings, driving vehicles. As in commuting, as in getting around. Sport, yeah, I think we're always going to see human beings doing things. Robot sports, it could work. We've seen that happen. So it's difficult to say. You know, you can't really future-proof anything. I look at the job that I do, and hello, this is part of the job that I do. I'm creating value for people. And if I'm not creating value, then what am I doing? Or at least I'm trying. So what can I do to future-proof what it is that I want to do? And the one thing that I have that's unique, apart from everybody else, is being me. My career is me. I'm happy with that. Trying to figure out how to be a better me is the biggest challenge. But I think it'll happen. I think it'll be for a while difficult to find a job. But eventually the pendulum will swing back the other way, and you have to think, what happens when robots are able to do everything? It just happens. I mean, at one point in time, we needed reporters to report the news. Not anymore. Did you know that certain news outlets are using robotic processes to make articles that look like they were written by a human being? Taking the humanity out of writing. Think about that. So it's interesting, and I think this is a fantastic question. But it'll get to the point where we don't need to have jobs, at which point you wonder, well, how are we going to make money? How's the economy going to work? Can't have a job, can't make money. 9 times out of 10, right? We all can't go to street corners, playing instruments that we can't play very well anyway. Daniel Simpkins asks, what made you change your business model from showing your office during the day, working with people that you had on board, or to showing every little detail of your personal life? So going from the live stream to vlogging, what made me change my business model? One thing wasn't working well. And I didn't even think that vlogging was going to work all that well. It's just that we were over the amount of... I'm telling you guys, I know a lot of people turn to me just for tech crap, but, over time, the things that have tracked better have nothing to do with technology. Believe that or not. It had to do with Lego. Like, some of the more traffic videos in my old channel, the classic channel now for vlogs, were about Lego. Like, why am I not doing more Lego things on a regular basis? Why am I messing around with tech that's just not working out that well? For me, because... as much as, hey, I enjoy playing with this kind of stuff, I'm not going to geek out about it like a lot of you guys will. So I'm trying to find another human being, not a robot, to help me get through this, to create a video experience that you can enjoy. So that way I can address the needs in technology that you want, but also be able to talk about the things that I want to talk about, like awesome Darth Vader coasters, which I got to tell you, this coaster gets me more excited than this phone. Oh, I'm gonna kick it up a notch. This coaster gets me more excited than this phone. This is the iPhone, in case you guys were wondering. So, I mean, I enjoy it, but at a different level. I mean, I got to be honest with you. And that's the struggle. It's like, it's in here, man. It's in the Pirillo. It's like an alien wanted to... Have you ever seen the movie, That's what's going to happen to Diana soon. She's going to pop. When you give birth, it's going to come out of your chest. I've decided this. Willie Summers asks, do you like your eggs scrambled or sunny side up? It depends. Actually, no, it doesn't depend. I would prefer sunny side up because I'll mash them up to make them kind of scrambled, but I get the yolky taste. I like that. It's fun. Brandon Evans asks, is IRC dead? No, I wouldn't say it's dead. I mean, there are people who still use it, but in my mind, yeah. Am I using it anymore? No, I just can't keep up. There's so much happening. There's so much going on. I mean, back when, we didn't have the ability to watch things live and a million different things to read and watch and view and share and do, we were looking for, bits and forms of entertainment and connectivity. But it's changed, man. I mean, where do you go for community these days? Where do you feel like you belong? And there's so many places. You can set up a website and everybody can come, or maybe nobody will come because there are other options out there. It's no longer an issue of scarcity. So, having a chat room is great. But community ebbs and flows because your interests today may not be your interests 5 years from now. And that's something you got to keep in mind. You as a human being will evolve. You'll change. What's important to you today is going to be completely different than what it's going to be when you're 40 years old. It's just the nature of the beast. So, IRC, as much as it's valuable, are you taking a picture of me or the popcorn?
You.
Okay, do I get the popcorn in the middle? Can I be... I want to watch them for a while. Why do I got to do all the work here?
I was going to say best seat in the house.
Oh, thank you. Oh, are you Instagramming that? Okay, tag me on it so I can retweet and I don't know what I have to do. IRC's not dead, but if I have a chat, and I referred to this earlier in the broadcast, if I bring back a chat, it'll be completely different, managed in a completely different way. That's I don't think there's any other way of handling that because I think I found a service that brings together like question and answer like we have on LockerGnome.net, clips along the lines of Pinterest, and chat rooms. And since everybody would have a profile, it would be a lot easier to manage people in different respects. But I haven't thought all the way through it. That website, I'm even toying with the idea of making premium memberships on an annual basis to give people, everybody access, but giving, you know, a certain amount of people certain privileges, and I think a reasonable rate. And I haven't figured out how that plays into the Patreon campaign because I don't want to make anybody mad, but I'm looking at solving my problems and addressing the things that you want me to do. So thank you for the patience. Thank you for paying attention. I really do appreciate it. I love doing these AMAs. I really do. I do have to scoot off though. I gotta work on a few more things. Baby, can I have the popcorn now?
Sure.
I just thought it'd be kind of fun to eat popcorn in front of people.
This is with our new popcorn machine.
Our new popcorn machine.
You don't like it?
Mm-mm.
Why?
I like the old popcorn machine better. No, I'm kidding. Oh, I just re-ate popcorn. That just kind of felt weird in my mouth. Now here's my question to you. Are you going to go make popcorn? If you guys go and make popcorn, or gals, if you make popcorn after watching me eat popcorn here, your goal or your job is to take a picture of you eating popcorn, either a picture, like a selfie eating popcorn with me in the background, like on your screen or whatever, like that, and then you put that on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and tag me in it, and I'll retweet it and say, ha, it's all, and Diana will retweet it. So there's what you got to do. Oh, okay. Popcorn is one of those things I guess, I know some people eat popcorn like this.
Me?
Yeah, like.
I do that.
No, if Diana eats popcorn, it's like this. That's Diana. Chris eats popcorn like this.
Flies everywhere.
And you know, I blame my dad for that. That's how he ate his popcorn. He shovels it. You guys wonder where I get it from. Blame Dad, not Canada. Thank you again for paying attention. Thank you again for being you. Thanks for remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe, make popcorn, and watch even more of our videos right now. Got a set up to record and stream this day's What Would You Do video just for the patrons. You can join and become a patron at chrispirillo.com and join us there as well. So at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. We'll see you later.